We have an awesome guest on, like we said, a guest that's long past due to be on the show with us, and his name goes by Asad Alawi, and he is going to be speaking today about healing Arizona veterans and all the amazing things that they're doing to help our veterans. Thanks for coming on the show with us, Asad.
Forward to a really good show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely me and you, I feel like we're like close kin because we've been talking on the phone quite a bit to try to prepare this, but it's awesome to finally have you on the show and talk about all the amazing things that you've done. And to kind of circle back, we have, the mutual friend in Dr. Carol with North Star Hyperbaric. And, if you're any friend of hers is definitely a friend of mine. So I appreciate you being on with us.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So I guess, I told, my co-host Andreas a little bit about it, and certainly everybody I know, I tell them about Healing Arizona Veterans. But how about you fill in our audience? What is Healing Arizona Veterans and, what they're doing for their local community here?
Be happy to. Healing Arizona Veterans is a 501c3 charity. It uses private donations to sponsor the treatment of military veterans suffering from wartime traumatic brain injury, or TBI for short, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD for short. The treatment utilizes hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, and adjunctive therapies, typically at private facilities. Healing Arizona Veterans is an all-volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid.
Nice. Well, that's beautiful. And how long has Healing Arizona Veterans been operating for?
Well, we registered as a charity in 2017. Okay. And we've been operating since that time.
And I want to believe, I know, there's certainly been people that have stayed at our facility, a veteran rescue mission, that have, gotten treatment at North Star Hyperbaric, and I want to think probably even as far back as Bravo Base, and that's how Andreas and I each know each other. Did you have any experience with Bravo Base and kind of, or I guess the real question is, what is that outreach mechanism look like for Healing Arizona Veterans to try to get those veterans connected with the services that they need?
A lot of it is word of mouth. Some people just go on Google and look for it. We've had, I'd say about half and half. Half word of mouth. The other half is people do a search on the internet and they find us, especially if they're living in Arizona. As for the time, Dr. Hendricks has been in operations almost 18 years, and she's been treating people with HBOT for a long, long time. Nice. And many of the veterans she had treated before we even started Healing Arizona Veterans.
You were talking about hyperbaric oxygen treatment, which a lot of people never heard about. I say that because up until I met Dr. Carroll, I never heard about it. But I know it was endorsed by the state of Arizona. Tell us more about that. When did this happen, and what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, back in 2017, we were working with the state of Arizona to get the state to endorse hyperbaric oxygen therapy for veterans with traumatic brain injury. After a couple of sessions with ad hoc committees and then with a standing committee, HB, or House Bill 2513, was finally passed at the beginning of 2018, which endorses the use of hyperbaric oxygen therapy for treatment. It was signed by Governor Ducey in March of 2018. So that has been the state's involvement. Now, Arizona is the fifth state that actually endorsed this. There are five others had done it beforehand, and there are many other states now are looking at doing the same. So it's moving at the state level, and of course, federal level. Finally, this year, Senate Bill 785. Which passed both the Senate and the House, U.S. Senate and House, and signed by President Trump into law. What that does is basically offers alternative therapy, such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, to veterans to help ease the suicide problem. Nice. So they're looking at about 1,000 veterans to be treated on a pilot basis around the country.
That's amazing.
So it's moving slowly, but the states have been pushing it.
Yeah. So where do veterans? I mean, I think you mentioned earlier there's different private facilities that veterans can get this type of treatment. Where are some of these facilities, and what are some of these treatments that they can get?
Currently, Healing Arizona veterans, when we get a veteran who qualifies to be treated, we send them either to North Star Hyperbaric in Tucson, that Pastor John mentioned earlier. Dr. Carol Henricks operates and runs it. And we also have another provider in the Phoenix area, Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy of Arizona, who's been operating even longer than North Star Hyperbaric. So the patients get sent to both these locations, depending geographically, of course, where they live. And both those facilities are private facilities. So the donations that people give us, we use to pay for that treatment at those facilities. There are other facilities in Arizona, but we don't have them on our list of providers as of yet.
Can you tell us of any experiences that you've had personally, like with any veterans, and any stories that you could tell us of how it's helped them?
Actually, the best thing you could do, I've just updated our website. So if you go to our website, healingarizonaveterans.org, and click on Achievements, Veterans, and you'll go there. There are 8 testimonials, video and audio. They're short, between 3 and 8 minutes long, and the veterans will tell you exactly how it's changed their lives. And that's the key thing here. It's really changed their lives. It's changed their lives in a way personally for many of them. And it's changed their lives in dealing with their family. So as they will tell you, they've become much, much better person.
Nice. That's beautiful.
So I think as far as eligibility and like process, what can a veteran that wants to get treatment or wants to reach out expect, and what is an eligible veteran look like?
Okay. Generally speaking, most of the veterans where we've treated have been from the Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan. We've had a couple from Vietnam era, but generally those individuals have other kinds of problems because they're much older, so they got other kinds of problems. So it's a little bit hard to help them when they've got numerous other issues. But when we get veterans, typically Dr. Carol Henricks, who is our neurological clinical director, she assesses them from a clinical point of view, whether they qualify or not. In other words, is a treatment going to be helpful to them? And then we have our chairman of our board, Dr. Bob Sexton, is actually a triple veteran. He was in Vietnam, and then he went to Iraq and Afghanistan as a doctor, as a field surgeon. So he after Dr. Henricks says, yes, they qualify from a clinical point of view, he talks to them and decides from a financial point of view whether they qualify and if we can support them. And given that we have limited money, there are some priorities are given to patients, but we haven't had to turn down anybody, I don't think, in the last year and a half or two. And so that's the process. And once they're approved, it immediately goes to either Dr. Carol Henricks or Lori Klauber in Phoenix, depending on where the veteran lives. And they begin treatment.
So what are the ways that people can help Arizona veterans? Because I definitely seems like, and I can attest for, like I said before, I know that there are veterans that you guys made it possible that they could get this treatment. What are ways that people can donate to you or get involved in, any way to make it so you guys can still make that possible for our veterans?
Appreciate the question. I'd like to start by saying we are an all-volunteer organization, so 95 cents of every dollar you give us literally goes to treatment. We don't have any overhead of any kind. To date, we've raised over $310,000 since start. And we are targeting $1.2 million so we can treat 100 veterans. It costs $12,000 to treat a veteran fully, either 40 or 60 sessions or as much as 80 sessions. Wow. So your listeners can help in a number of ways. You can donate to the cause. Given that cash is short supply these days, you can donate vehicles, including cars and trucks and RVs and boats and everything else. You can encourage veterans with PTSD, and TBI to contact us with treatment. And the third way you can participate is volunteer to help if the cause appeals to you, and we are always looking for volunteers. And you can find all that information on our website, again, healingarizonaveterans.org. So you can donate directly on our website, whether it's cash, vehicles, or if you want to volunteer, or if you have a patient, you can send an email directly from our website. I check the emails and voicemails every day to see if there are any patients, prospective patients calling.
All right, thank you so much. And we got about 20 seconds left till we break out. Is there anything that our veterans or our listeners should know that you'd like to let them know, Saad?
All I can tell you is from all the veterans I've seen and their testimonials, don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Don't think this is something strange. It actually works. There are over 4,000 veterans have been treated with this nationwide, and you can find that information on another organization's website called treatnow.org. So please consider it. And if you're a family of a veteran and you think they need it,
Perfect.
Call us.
All right. Thank you so much, Saad. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for so much information today. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate it. And thank you for being here.